Dude, this is unbelievably beautiful. I mean, oh my God. So, hello everybody. Nick here, and as you can see, I am taking a trip from Dalat, Dalat, Vietnam, which is in the mountains, the central highlands of Vietnam, down to Da Nang, and it's going to take me just about 2 days to do so. So first day, I'm driving down to Qui Nhon, which is a smaller, more local town on the coast of Vietnam. So as you see here, I'm driving through the city of Dalat. It was a little packed when I was leaving. But yeah, so just heading out of Dalat and then now heading into the mountains. So just a little advice for those of you who have not driven in Dalat yet. It is cold, and even if you're down on the coastline and it's very warm, if you come up to Dalat, it will definitely be cold. You will need at least some type of neck covering, a jacket or two, to prevent yourself from getting too cold. So definitely keep that in mind. Also, as you can see with the road, right now it's not too bad, but the roads aren't always the greatest. You've got some cracks and fissures and some potholes. So definitely keep that in mind when you're driving, to keep an eye out for those, because they can definitely prove to be quite dangerous. Now to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I'm driving and the conditions and everything. So I'm driving a Honda Winter X 2020 model. 150 cc's with ABS brakes. So I highly suggest, if you guys are going to be taking a motorcycle trip, definitely get a motorbike that is worthy of the trip. So don't try to go too cheap. Getting something with ABS brakes is very good, because there are times where you are really going to need to stop very quickly. Now, to any of those who are deciding to travel to Dalat anytime soon, as you can see, they're doing a lot of construction on the road outside of Dalat. So the way that you get into Dalat from Nha Trang, this is the road that you take. And at the moment, they're doing a lot of construction, so just be wary of that. They'll probably be finished in the next in the next month or so, but just be wary. It is quite muddy, especially when it gets wet, and it's not the greatest conditions to drive in at the moment. Also, as you notice with this van, got a little close. Just something you gotta watch out for while you're driving. Just making sure that you don't get pushed off of the road. Yeah, I don't know if you guys see, but it's a little foggy up here, so I'm putting this on to keep a little warm. And now heading down the mountain. So as you can see, it's super foggy up here, which can get that way because it's the highest point of your drive. And as you can tell, heading down, the fog had gotten a lot better. And for the most part, these roads are very well maintained, at least on this stretch, and it's not too bad. And you're offered some absolutely stunning views of the nearby hills and mountains. So definitely suggest, if you are driving up to Dalat and you're coming from the coastline, the northern coastline, so from like Nha Trang or Qui Nhon, absolutely come up this way. It's beautiful. Or if you're heading from Dalat down to the coastline to Nha Trang, then head down this way. Especially if it's been a little wet or rainy, you'll be given a lot of nice views of small waterfalls along the side of the road. Now I'm making my way down the rest of the mountain, and here we go. Now I've made it down to more of kind of like rolling hills. These are the valleys in Vietnam. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little pit stop here in just a second to get some food. So I can't really remember exactly what this meal is called that I'm eating, but it is noodles with fish, just in a small town. And right now I'm asking for coffee, black coffee. Café Den is black coffee in Vietnamese. So yeah, once I've finished, for those of you who haven't had coffee here in Vietnam, just realize that it's very, very strong. So if you are sensitive to caffeine, like myself, just be aware of that and don't drink all of it too quickly, because you'll be in for a nasty surprise. So definitely drink it slowly and recognize that it is very strong. Anyways, back on the journey, as you can see, there are rice paddies everywhere, and it is an absolutely beautiful drive. So definitely suggest this drive. We're gonna go ahead and zip through the landscape. So as you can see, this is a much smaller road. This is not a big highway. There are tons of small little villages on the side, a lot of greenery. It's a really, really nice drive. And here, as you can see, I'm starting to head into a more urban area. So can't remember the name of this city here, but I'm starting to get a lot closer to the coastline. And as you can see, there's a lot more traffic, which brings me to another point here in Vietnam. Guys, if you have not driven before and you're taking a trip to Vietnam, I highly suggest not trying to drive in Vietnam for the first time. It's very hectic and can be dangerous because people aren't always following, there aren't as many rules or, laws in place. But as you see now, I am finishing my journey to Qui Nhon. And to take a night in Qui Nhon. So now I'm just arriving at La Casse Hotel where I'm staying overnight and am going to bed. So see you guys in the morning. Here we go, starting the new day. So I'm getting a quick oil change and getting the bike cleaned and tightening the chain. So I'm a little tired today. Last stretch of the trip, just leaving La Casse Hotel right behind me from Qui Nhon and heading off to Da Nang. So see you guys there. So back on to keeping the oil. Well, obviously, if you're going on long distances, change the oil frequently and tighten your chain frequently. It's normal with motorbikes. It's not a problem with the motorbike. It's just normal that the chain just gets loose over time, especially if you're driving on bumpy roads, which is the case here in Vietnam. So definitely change the oil frequently and tighten your chain frequently, because loose chains are no good. As you can see here, I'm driving outside, just making it out of Qui Nhon at the moment, and heading off towards Da Nang. This part of the journey is not bad. You do have a lot of rice paddies, which is quite picturesque. But besides that, it's not as beautiful as the first day. The first day is very mountainous. Here on this stretch of road, it's a lot of highway, a lot of big trucks. So definitely be careful while driving on this stretch. And another thing is a lot of potholes as well. And the roads aren't always the best. So definitely keep that in mind while you're driving on this stretch from Qui Nhon to Da Nang. And now for a little food break. So here I'm having com tom, which is a typical Saigon dish, and it is absolutely delicious. Actually, one of my favorite dishes here in Vietnam. I have it almost on a daily basis. But I'm back off. I was just about halfway point from Qui Nhon to Da Nang. And yeah, just making my way outside of the city. Well, city. One thing about Vietnam, if you guys have or have not been here yet and are planning to drive, you'll realize that a lot of the highways are just one continual kind of urban city. They're just constantly cities along the highways, the major highways at least. So you're always going to be going through these little cities or little towns. And one thing which is very interesting about Vietnam, which you're going to see in just a second, you can sometimes see some very interesting things on the road, such as that man transporting his pig. Yeah, so that is the nice thing about Vietnam, is that you have a lot of very interesting scenery while driving. So while driving through, especially the cities, you're going to realize that there's a lot more traffic and a lot more going on. So don't be afraid to use your horn. Actually, legally, when you're passing people on the left, you are supposed to use your horn to honk. Obviously, this depends. If you're passing lots of people, you don't want to be honking constantly, and if you can tell that they're not going to be jutting or jumping out in front of you, then that's fine. But if you have any doubts, always use your horn. Let people know that you are there, because a lot of times they don't know you're passing by. So make sure you use your horn frequently and let people know that you are there. Now, as you can see, I'm heading back out kind of towards more of the local areas, and now it's starting to rain. So obviously, while driving through Vietnam, weather can be kind of unpredictable, and this was more or less the rainy season. So bring wet weather gear and stuff that actually works very well. Not the small kind of plastic ponchos, but the full-on like pants, jacket, the whole shebang. Here I'm driving through a smaller road through some rural areas here in Vietnam. Kudos to Google Maps for bringing me down this way, but actually it was a very pleasant surprise, because it was a very nice drive. Now, as you can see, I'm going over this large bridge, which is bringing me into Hoi An, and one of the last legs of the journey. So Hoi An, if you guys do not know Hoi An, it's a small town known for its rice paddies and for its ancient town. So it has one of the most well-preserved ancient or old towns in Vietnam. So it's very beautiful and very popular with tourists. So if you have not been to Vietnam and plan on coming, definitely go to Hoi An, at least for a day or two to visit. Now I'm past Hoi An and essentially arriving into Da Nang. And that's a quick drive from Hoi An to Da Nang. It only takes, depending on your specs of the motorcycle you're driving, but usually about 30 minutes. But as you could hear, I'm using my horn a lot here, just letting people know that I am there. And now, as you can see, I am officially in Da Nang. This is close to Marble Mountain. Now this is right on the coastline, right outside of the main area of Da Nang. So this is one of the new malls they're putting up. And as you can see right now, actually Da Nang beachfront, which unfortunately has been hit quite hard by the recent typhoon. So it's not as beautiful as it used to be, but hopefully that'll change soon. And here I am on one of the main streets here in Da Nang, and shortly arriving back home. And here we go. Delicious com tom place here on the left. Absolutely recommend it to any of you who are going to be traveling this way. And here we are, home sweet home. So there you guys have it, my trip from motorbike trip from Dalat to Da Nang. And this is the first time I've kind of delved into making this style of video. It's kind of vloggy, and I'm wondering what you guys think of it. So please give me some feedback, put some comments down below, let me know whether you liked it or some things that I should improve on it. And besides that, if you did like it, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be coming out with more travel videos and obviously fitness related videos soon. So with that being said, hope you guys are having a great week, and I will see you guys next time. So peace.